that? It's a lot more aggressive. Whoa! Gas, upshift. Upshift. Look at that. Woo! Yeah! Woo! She's still alive. One more downshift. You see that?
Sir T-Dad finally got your power shifters going. I'm glad my videos helped you.
What's going on YouTube? SRT Dad. We got the paddle shifters working through the company Z Automotive, the one that makes the cool tasers. I bought a Transformer Gen 1 and it got the paddle shifters to work. It was a long journey, there was a lot of steps to do it, but let's take you back to a couple days ago where it all got started. Let's go. What's going on YouTube? SRT Dad, and today we're finally going to get this Z Automotive product installed on my Dodge Charger. So the product is called a Transformer Gen 1. So what does it do? It does a lot of things. Things like line lock, burnout mode, changing the shift pressures on my car. But the biggest thing I got it for was to get my paddle shifters to work. So essentially, with this Transformer Gen 1, I can use my volume up and down button to change shifts on my car. What we're gonna do, I'm heading over to Omar's again. He's gonna wire the paddle shifters to the up and down volumes on my steering column here. And by doing that, I will be able to use the paddle shifters to shift up and down on my car now. So I'm gonna head over to Omar's right now. Also, check out this freaking shirt that Z Automotive sent me, this taser shirt. It's pretty badass, right? Check it out. Yeah, so a taser is one of their more popular products. Those of you that are aware or not aware, the taser product is used on the newer gen Chargers and Challengers. It kind of lock things, same type of deal, right? Line lock burnouts, SRT pages, the famous light show, and I'll put little clips of it on here too. But yeah, so I'm heading over to Omar's now. I'll see you guys when we get there. Let's go! Alright, we're here at Glow Optics. I just pulled up. So here's the product here. It's gonna connect under the dash. Omar's gonna install it for me. I was telling Omar I'm gonna have him install one of these in my garage. Start vlogging from the garage. What you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Let's get it done. Bonus content right here. This is the beast, the project, the Dom car.
Oh yeah, I forgot we made that joke last time.
Yeah.
Renting the same boat.
Had a lot of jokes, man. She's still alive. Alright, so just like last time, we're gonna be taking out the airbag. Alright, so Anthony said if we need anything, bro, I already got his number.
Call him.
Call him, FaceTime, whatever.
So from what I remember,
he's got the video too. We can reference
to wire the paddles to the thing.
Just to the volume.
Volume.
Yep.
Okay. Easy enough.
Yep.
But the main feature that we're going to use is steering wheel shifting. And what that does, it allows the shifting to be done by the volume up and the volume down buttons on the steering wheel.
We're over here watching Anthony's video on how to do it.
So we have to solder 3 wires here on the back. So let me show you. All right, first thing we need to do is open this up. There's 4 tabs here, and then this backing plate will pop out. Just like that. And be careful that when you pull this off, don't bend the pins. Just like that. And here's our board. And here's where we're going to solder to. Okay, I got my pins marked on the board. Right here is where you'll attach a wire for the shift up signal. Right here is where you'll attach a wire for the shift down signal. And then here will be your ground. You'll basically want to run 1 wire from here out, and then it'll Y to both shifters. Now the shifters are not polarity specific, it's just a momentary switch. So this will go to the right shifter, shift up, and this will go to the left shifter, shift down, and then the 2 wires that aren't used will both be to this terminal here. So then when you have steering wheel shifting enabled with the transformer, you will put it in auto stick, and then you can use the paddles to shift up and down.
I'll put the link to his very detailed explanation, and I'll put clips of it in this video as well. Yeah, there it is, look. That's the guy right there. So we popped off the right side where the volume up and down button are at. Took out the chip here. And now he's gonna wire the up and down shifts and the ground to this chip here. And we are using Anthony's Garage's reference.
For the shift up
I don't know what part you need about, man.
Is where you'll attach a wire for the shift down signal.
YouTube on YouTube, ain't that
something?
something?
Ground, you'll basically want to run 1 wire
Broke
from
the
here
4th wall.
out, and then it'll Y to both shifters. Now the shifters are not polarity specific, it's just a momentary switch. So this will go to the right shifter, shift up, and this will go to the left shifter, shift down, and then the 2 wires that aren't used will both be to this terminal here. So then when you have steering wheel shifting switch, so this will go to.
All right, Chief. The boards are different.
Notice that too. Alright, but can we figure out which button goes where?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, we can. Now.
As expected, there's always something different. Alright, so per Anthony's video, there's 2 different types of chips. There's this one here, the B, which we were able to find on his video as well. And there it is right there. Your up shift, down shift, and then your ground. Which we are gonna copy.
Thanks, Anthony.
Yeah, he was trying to figure it out, and then I text Anthony, and he pretty much said, "Hey, dumbass, I got them both on the video. Watch the whole thing." I was like, "Oh, my bad, my bad."
Okay, before we get started, I wanted to mention there are 2 different styles of these boards. I'll post the pictures now.
Alrighty. We'll use our next best thing. Solder and heat shrink. So I'm going to solder them together.
Okay.
To make it a super secure and solid connection. And then I'm going to secure the electrical wiring with heat shrink.
What kind of other stuff do you offer, man?
What do you need?
just asking in general, like, so you obviously you do lighting.
Yeah, so I always make this joke. It's easier to ask me what you need, and then I can tell you whether I can do it or not. Because I mean, if you needed your charger cam, like I could have done it.
Okay.
So it just depends, but yeah, lighting 100% obviously. We also do not only lighting for your personal vehicles, but commercial vehicles. So if you need strobes, emergency lights, light bars, you know, all that fun stuff, we do that. We offer lighting for your home, which is a big thing this year, or actually kind of started last year. So either the permanent home lighting or eaves lighting, if you want to get around the HOA rules. That permanent stuff, like I said, for your home, and then for your inside stuff like your cabinets, if you got a game room, your kids' room. Like I said, it's just all over the place.
Yeah.
And then, you know, general mechanic works. So
yeah, see, you have a lift right here.
I have a lift,
Yeah.
tons of tools. I actually rent the space out to certain people. I mean, not certain people, but you know, whoever asks.
Oh, so if somebody wanted to work on their stuff themselves and they just needed a lift and some tools.
Yeah, they need the lift and tools. There's a lift. That toolbox that I rent out is that one. It's fully stocked, and obviously if it's not in there, it'll be in this one. And yeah, so I do that. It's just like I said, it just kind of depends on whatever people need.
So you're like a Swiss knife. A little bit of everything. A little bit of everything.
Definitely trying.
Aglo Optics does it all. Make sure y'all hit him up or whatever. He'll let you know.
Alright, I got the TCM connectors unplugged. They just have a push tab here. There's a lower connector and an upper connector. And then we can start making our connections. First connection is the black with orange stripe wire on the top connector. And that's the only connection for the top connector. Now we move on to the bottom. Alright, for the lower connector, you don't go by color, you go by pin number. And you can see the pins are all labeled. And to easily tell which wire, you gotta slide this cover off. And then now you can see what pin is what. Okay, I got my T-taps on the lower plug, and we're going to pins 36, 37, and 38. Now it's telling us to start plugging in the harness. Okay, I got my first round of connections made at the TCM. These three and this one up here. Next, we have to do CAN bus connections, and we're done. Okay, CAN bus connections are made at this harness that runs up to the steering column. We have 4 to make on here. Okay, there's my 4 taps on the steering column harness. It's basically all 4 white wires. Now we can make our other connections. Okay, there we go. CAN wiring is connected. Now we can plug in a transformer.
All right, so I want to show you guys the bottom a little bit here. There was a little bit of confusion. I will put in Anthony's video. So as far as the wiring on the TCM, that was pretty self-explanatory. The CAN bus is where it got a little bit tricky. So what got tricky, Omar?
So even in the instructions on the website, it doesn't say like red wire to pin number 37 or blue one to pin number 38. It just says these are the wires you're tapping into, just do it. So that's where the confusion kind of came into play. What we're hoping is that they're color coding all the wires, so the all yellow wire goes to the all yellow one, that brown one goes to the yellow one with the brown stripe. Same thing with these. They're white with orange, white with blue, white with green. So again, it might seem self-explanatory, but the instructions aren't clear, so you can't really assume anything.
Right.
But here we go.
All right, we're just gonna give it a go. We tried calling Anthony, but he don't pick up. But you know, I'll give him benefit of the doubt. He lives in Indiana, and we're out here in Arizona, and it's 7 over here. So was it like 9 over there? 10?
I don't know.
It ain't that late. Come on, Anthony. All right, time to fuck around. First we gotta check if that's on, right? Or you can mess with, if you want to test the see if the buttons work first of all. Just hit off on demonstration. Hit off and then hit finish. There you go.
Does it normally pop up?
Go to radio. Now try to mess the volume. There you go. So the volume works. So try tapping that. This should go with the volume too. Yeah. How about that one?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So the paddle shifters, the actual paddle shifters, again, carbon fiber gave me work. The up and down volume works, and the up and down volume works with paddle shifters. So Omar did a good job of wiring everything. So that's good.
So far.
All right. Some confetti there. All right. So now this shit. It's not even on right now. So the ESP right? Button, right? Push it once. You should just leave it in the on the run position. See if it. Can't tell if it's on though. I don't see nothing. Yeah, it's not on at all.
Nope.
No, let's go back to that. All right, so we tried calling Anthony, but on the website there's a table that literally tells you which wire goes to which wire. So. We'll see how off Omar was. We'll get it plugged up, see if we get it going now. Nothing?
Still nothing.
Huh. My bad.
Very good.
What did you think, huh? That I was gonna roll over and die from an attack like that?
All right, YouTube, so everything's plugged in right. Just so you get just a recap of where everything goes, okay? So here you have your main connection here, right? So the white's gonna go to the all white here. Your orange cable is gonna go to this white and orange cable up here. Your green one's gonna go to this white and dark blue, and your blue is gonna go to the white with the baby blue. For this side right here, and this other side here, we got the red ones going to the all yellow. The brown one's going to the yellow with the darker brown. Your yellow one over here is gonna go to a yellow with the tan color, so it's gonna be like a little bit of a lighter brown. And then up here, your all black cable is gonna be connected to your black and orange cable here. So that's all wired up right. Everything's wired up good, but I'm having an issue. And because everything's plugged right, okay? So I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna lay my phone here. Just what happens, okay? So normally, right, I can put the car in the run position. It's starting to slide. And this light right here should turn on, which it does, and it'll blink red and green. And then it'll blink green, right? Which is all normal. And then, but from after that, it'll turn off. And then my cluster will go crazy. And it's like my TCM, like it's just acting funky. So let me show you guys. All right, so that's right. That's normal, just as in the instructions. Blinking all green, sweet, okay. And then it stops, you see that? So now the gauge cluster here it's just going nuts. Like everything's going off on here. Everything's going off. Even my headlights, you can see over there, my headlights are turned on too, and I have them. If I turn them off, they're still on. And here we go, nothing, no response. And even if I've started the car and I've pushed the ESP button twice, and it just stays in this blinking green, and it just doesn't do anything. And it's just because my TCM is just acting funky. And as soon as I unplug it, everything will go back to normal up here. See this? Going up, headlights turn back off, everything's normal again. Yes, my trunk is open. All right, YouTube, so it's been concluded that most likely the Z Automotive transformer is just short-circuiting. Based on a forum I saw, and I'll put it on the screen here. If my cluster is showing the park, reverse drive, all that, the 1, 2, and 3, that it means that my CAN bus is short-circuiting, or this is short-circuiting. And I know my CAN bus is fine because everything on my steering wheel works. When this is not plugged in, everything works until I plug this in, and it just starts acting funky. Like I said, you saw in the video, it works a little bit, and then it short circuits. So I'm gonna get with Z Automotive and get them to send me a new one. So hopefully within the next week, I could put the new one back on and get these paddle shifters finally working. It's been a little bit of a hassle, but it's just unluck. It's just bad luck. It's all it is. But we'll get it going. To install this is actually really easy. Omar did help me, but to be honest, I probably could have done it myself with instructions that were given. But as far as the wiring of the steering wheel, wiring the paddle shifters to the volume plus and minus, that I couldn't have done myself. I'm not gonna lie. Omar, it works great now. They actually work with my volume up and down just fine. So we know the paddle shifters work. So now we just need to get this going, and once we get this going, we'll freaking use the paddle shifters. We'll test out the burnout mode, the line lock. We're gonna test everything out, all right? Show you guys everything that this device can do. So I actually reached out to Z Automotive, and their technical support team sent me an app, the ZPU app, to download to update my transformer. The problem is when I plugged it in, it was actually saying it was a Taser JL, which is not a transformer. After letting them know, they emailed me back, and they attached the file to the email so that it would actually update to the correct transformer version 1.43. All right, so I updated it on my Mac, and now it says transformer on the screen. And for some reason, it was saying it was a Taser. I got in contact with Z Automotive support, and they did a great job sending me a very detailed message along with the file to download to re-update the Z Automotive product here. Now it says Taser, so I'm gonna plug it in, and hopefully this time it doesn't glitch. Also, if you want to know how to remove this just pops out, and then you just pull this back. This pops up as well. And then you just take this screw out, and then you have access to the bottom. And then you're gonna have this little shield here. Just take these 4 bolts off, and then you'll have access to the back. All right, moment of truth. Start it up. Should blink red and green for about 5 seconds, and then turn green. All right. Let's put it in drive. Should be red. There it is. ESP twice. Don't hear any noises though. It's just red and green. It's blinking red and green. So actually, I called Anthony and I FaceTimed him, and he actually helped me figure out the whole activating the paddle shifters while I was driving. And we literally, we figured it out while being on call, and I was freaking excited. But the problem is, there's no way to audio screen record FaceTime on the iPhone. So we couldn't hear the audio, but we were really excited. We both were really happy. I was freaking downshifting, and it was freaking awesome. But Anthony, he really helped us out a lot. I honestly believe without him, this wouldn't have been possible. So freaking big time thank you to Anthony. All right, great news, YouTube. I got everything to work. So I just have it hanging here like this Because when I had it inside, I think it was pushing up on the wires and it just wasn't, it was kind of disconnecting on its own. So what I did, I went and got some 3M tape. And I'm just gonna put a couple strips here and then just have it here. That way I could have it available on here in case I need to plug the laptop to it and change any shift points and whatnot. But let's go ahead, let's tape it up, and then let's go on a freaking test drive so you guys can see how badass this freaking product is. All right, YouTube, so like I said, I got it. I stuck it down here, right? It's nice and stuck there with 3M tape. So we're gonna go through it, right? I'm gonna turn it on. You give it about 5 seconds, it'll turn green. There we go. All right, put it in gear, drive, starts blinking red. All right, so now watch this, right? The paddle shifter, second shift, there we go, look at that. Upshift, downshift, right? Downshift, downshift, there we go, see that? All right, cool. We're gonna go in POV mode on the GoPro so we can test it out. So let's go ahead, let's try and test it out now. All right, let's put the windows down. All right. So I'm in first shift, right? Upshift, there it is. Upshift again. There it is, upshift. Look at that, downshift, downshift, downshift. We're in third gear right now. All right. Let's make a left turn. Let's go straight. All right, let's go. Shift, shift, there we go. Shift, yep. Put the back windows down. All right, we're gonna downshift to third, downshift, third, downshift again. Second, step on the gas, upshift, upshift. Look at that, woo! Yeah! Woo! You see that? Paddle shifters, baby!
I am a warrior, the Saiyan Prince, Vegeta!
All right, so I went back to the phone view here just so you guys can see. All right, so I was shifting through the gears, right, on the paddle shifters. There's a couple things you want to know. One, if I push the bottom arrow and the bottom volume button, it's gonna turn off my ability to use the paddle shifters to change gears. And it's gonna say SWE off. And when I push the plus and up sign, it's gonna say SWE on. That turns on the paddle shifters to use with your shifter. Now, the transformer isn't even on yet. That's what's the transformer off. So I'm gonna turn the transformer on by pushing the ESP button twice. You see that? TFZ on. Now I'm gonna downshift. Now the gear is gonna get a lot harder. All right, so you guys can see. All right, let's make a left turn, just so you guys can see, all right? All right, shift. See that? It's a lot harder. All right, so I'm gonna switch hands so you guys can see the downshifting. Like I said, this is with the transformer on. Downshift, downshift. You see that? It's a lot more aggressive. Whoa, did you see that? The car freaking almost, I freaking my tail was shaking back there.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
It's a lot more aggressive. There's no traction, no nothing. Everything's turned off when it's in TFZ mode. The upshift. All right, you see that? Switch hands. All right, downshift. Downshift. One more downshift. You see that? Oh my God. That's freaking crazy. All right, so I'm gonna hold the phone in an awkward way just so you guys can see when I push the down and up. See that? SWB off. SWB on. SWS on, I mean. You guys can see it's really cool product. So right now, let's see. The transformer's on. Let's play around with the downshifting again here. So to activate it, you have to downshift on your shift stick. But after that, you can use the paddle shifters. Every little shift you do when the transformer's on, very aggressive. Hopefully you guys can hear me over the sounds of my car. Alright, right now I'm in second gear, down first. Let's make a right turn. Let's do this. Let's see. Downshift. Downshift. Very cool. Let's put the windows up. Put the windows up. Put the windows up. Alright, so you guys can hear me a little better. Alright, so now I'm going to turn off the transformer. It's off. So if you want to do more casual driving, like I said, you can still use the paddle shifters even when the transformer is off. But you still have to downshift first. Alright, so whenever you change the transformer from on to off, make sure you have your car out of the stick shift mode, and then go back into it and it'll work again. So right now, second gear, first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear. You hear that? And my transmission is at its normal tune from UMS. Very comfortable. Fourth, fifth, very nice. Very cool. But yeah, let me go ahead and park, and then we'll do a little my final thoughts.
Hey, what's going on, guys? SRT Dad finally got your paddle shifters going. I'm glad my videos helped you, and hopefully the FaceTime calls got you all squared away. So maybe if some of your subscribers can come on over to my channel, check out my stuff, that would be greatly appreciated. But congrats, man. I'm glad you got them working. I'm glad I could help, and I can't wait to watch this video.
How's it going, everybody? So as you guys probably saw in the video already, or are going to see in the video, we installed paddle shifters on a Charger, the 4th gens, I believe they're called. I always call them 1st gens. I don't count the the 67s, 71s, all that stuff. Modern muscle 1st gen. Anyways, you guys can fight about that in the comments. So we installed the paddle shifters on the Charger. At first they weren't working because they needed that module from Z Automotive, I believe. And after that, the install was relatively easy. The module came with instructions. Taking the bottom of the steering wheel apart was pretty easy. Taking the steering wheel off of those cars is really simple. It's just two 10mm bolts, really. Don't forget to unplug that battery. And then yeah, you then have to bolt on the paddle shifters to the steering wheel, which is a little harder than in the whole process, right? That part's a little harder overall, just because you have to place the paddle shifters, figure out where you want the hole, figure out if that hole's going to be good for the inside part of the steering wheel, and then after that, drill the hole, put in the bolt up your paddle shifters, run the wires. The hardest part, I would say, about the entire install, and this isn't that it was hard for me, right? It's just for someone who's starting DIY or whatever. Soldering the wires to the motherboard for the plus and minus triggers or whatever, contact pads. That part was one of the harder parts, I would say. If like I said, if you're a beginner DIY, obviously you're gonna need a soldering iron, some soldering experience or knowledge, and yeah, that's basically it. Like I said, the whole install overall, it's not hard. I'm actually gonna do it on my car once I finally get there. I'm still in the beginning stages of my rebuild. Car runs and drives and everything is just, there's a lot of cosmetic work that needs to get done. But yeah, if you guys are in Arizona and want to get that whole job thing done, you want to add paddle shifters to your vehicle, regardless of if it's a 2007 and up, 7 to 11, 12 to 14 is the next generation, and then 15 plus. If you don't have paddle shifters, you want to add paddle shifters, that Z Automotive is the module for you, or for us. It's going to be the easiest way to do it, instead of doing any, bunch of coding and stuff like that. Just buy that Z Automotive module and call it a day. If you're not in Arizona, so Glow Optics is in Arizona. If you are not in Arizona, we can receive your parts, or ship them to us directly from your purchase, or if you've already got the parts, just ship them to us. We'll do the build, ship everything back out to you fully assembled and ready to be plug and play. Shoot us a message on Instagram, shoot us a message on TikTok if you've got one, Facebook, email, phone number, whatever you guys want to use. We've got it. We're available. We're open for requests and scheduling. So again, shout out to SRT Dad for trusting us. This modification was a fun one because, again, it applies to me. I'm gonna do it 100%. I'm gonna do it. So it was a lot of fun to learn and experience this stuff firsthand. So thank you again to him for trusting us. We hope to see him soon for his next electronic or lighting modification. And yeah, be sure to follow him, follow us at Glow Optics. We do free quotes and all that fun stuff, so shoot us a message. Peace out.
All right, so what do I think? Freaking amazing. The transformer, it's very, very responsive. Sorry about the background noise of the birds. But yeah, the transformer is very responsive on the shift. The paddle shifters work quicker than my shifter does when I'm in auto stick mode. It's very, very responsive. I love it. I just want to thank Z Automotive again. Thank you for the technical support as well, the technical support team, for sending me that update. The transformer worked perfectly after that. Thank you to Omar Glow Optics for installing my paddle shifters, for wiring them to the volume up and volume down button in order to get the transformer to work. Thank you to Anthony's Garage. He actually was the first one to do the install himself, and he provided a step-by-step video, and as you saw in this video, I used some of his clips. But if you decide to go this route and you want to go the cheaper route, which is just buying the paddle shifters off eBay and doing it on your stock steering wheel, you can do that. Or you can do it the way I did it through Zen Carbon Fiber. They provided me the steering wheel already with the carbon fiber paddle shifters installed in them, which was a lot easier. Obviously, I just had to do the wiring with Omar. Overall, as far as the transformer goes, it's actually a very easy install that you can do yourself. The hardest part, I would say, would be to wire your paddle shifters to the volume up and down button on your steering wheel. That's the hardest part, and luckily I had Omar do that for me. But if you do know somebody that can do that for you, I mean, I'd probably contact them. Otherwise, you can try it yourself. Like I said, it's all in the video. It's in this video, and it's in Anthony Garage's video. His is a lot more detailed, step by step. But that's gonna be all for today, YouTube. If you have any questions, hit the comment section, hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and please, please, please subscribe to the channel. That is all for today. I'm SRT Dad, and I'm